Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Destiny Hero deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck summons out one of the most powerful fusion monsters ever created. Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. And I've changed up this deck a lot since the last time I profiled it and I'm really excited to show you guys all those changes. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name description in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing a single copy of Destiny Hero Plasma, which is the boss monster we're trying to summon out all the time with this deck. This card is absolutely amazing and super easy to put on your side of the field. By just tributing 3 monsters on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand to the field. It also has the ability to target a face-up monster your opponent controls and equip that monster to this card and then gain attack points equal to half the equipped monster's attack points, which is really good to make this card absolutely massive. And it also has an amazing third effect that you also have a one-sided skill drain when this card is on the field, negating all of your opponent's monster effects while this card's face-up on the field, which is a really cool thing about this card. We then play 2 copies of Destiny Hero Malicious. Destiny Hero Malicious is a definite 2 of the deck that you can banish this card from your graveyard to be able to special summon another copy of this card out of the deck, which helps you swarm the field with all sorts of monsters to help you go in for some really awesome fusion plays. We then play a single copy of Destiny Hero Denier. Destiny Hero Denier is essentially the 3rd copy of Malicious, with a really awesome effect that if this card is normal or special summon, you can take 1 Destiny Hero monster from your deck, graveyard, or that's banished and place it on top of your deck, which is usually your banished copy of Malicious that you're putting back on the top of the deck, so you can banish the one from graveyard and then special summon the one that you just put back and put it on your field, which is really cool. But this card also has a once per duel effect that if you have a Destiny Hero monster on the field or in your graveyard other than this card, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, which is really good just to get this card back on the field. We then play a single copy of Destiny Hero Decider. Decider is a really good one of in the deck, but it has 2 once per duel effects, but we're only really using one of the effects on this card. That if this card is normal or special summon, you get to add a hero monster from your graveyard back to your hand during the end phase of this turn, which is a pretty good effect to be able to recover back one of your cards. We then play a single copy of Diamond Dude. Diamond Dude is a definite one on the deck and one of the classic Destiny Hero monsters that once per turn you can excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's a normal spell card, send it to the graveyard. Otherwise, place it on the bottom of the deck. And during the main phase of your next turn, you can activate the effect of that spell card in your graveyard, even if you no longer control this face-up card, which is a really awesome effect, especially with the amount of normal spell cards we're playing in this deck. We then play a single copy of Dark Angel. Speaking of spell cards, this card is really good to basically give to your opponent with its effects, which is really awesome because it makes it so your opponent can't activate spell cards and it just negates any spell card that they activate, which is such a cool effect for this card to have. This card is just really good to just hand to the opponent with its effect, and it's a definite one of in this build. I'm then playing a single copy of Dreadmaster. Dreadmaster is really easy to put on the field and it gets absolutely massive. This card is definitely a one of in the deck and a really cool card overall in this particular build to special summon off your copy of Dominance's effect. It's just a really awesome card. We then play 2 copies of Elemental Hero Stratos. Stratos is a definite 2 of the deck because it can search any hero upon summon, which is just such a cool effect to be able to search out any of your Destiny Hero monsters that you might need. We then play a single copy of Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist is really good because if this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to add a hero monster from your deck to your hand, but if this card is special summon, you get to add a change quick play spell card from your deck to your hand, which is always your copy of Mass Change that you're searching, but you can only activate either or of this card's effects per turn. We then play a single copy of Liquid Soldier for the last elemental hero we're playing in the deck, but this card is really good because it has the ability, if this card is used for a fusion material and is sent to the graveyard or banished, you can draw 2 cards and then discard a card, which is the main effect we're using on this card to help us dig into the deck for more Destiny Hero cards. We then play 3 copies of Vision Hero Ferris. Vision Hero Ferris is just too good for heroes not to play, and has such a good effect that you discard one other hero monster, be able to special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is normal or special summon, you can place a Vision Hero monster from your deck, except another copy of this card in your spell and trap card zone as a face-up trap card, which is really good to be able to use, but it does lock you into hero monsters for the rest of the turn, which is not that big of a deal because that's all we're summoning anyways. I then play 2 copies of Increase. I think Increase at 2 is perfect, because if you draw into one, it turns your entire Vision Hero package off, which is why I love playing 2 copies of this card. If this card is in your back row, which this card is a card you're always putting in the back row with your copy of Ferris, you can actually tribute a hero monster on your side of the field to be able to special summon this card from your spell and trap card zone, and then special summon a level 4 lower Vision Hero monster from your deck, which is always going to be one of the 2 copies of Vision Hero Vion. Vision Hero Vion is a Foolish Burial on summon. And if this card is normal or special summon, you can send a hero monster from your deck to the graveyard, and you can also once per turn banish 1 hero monster from your graveyard to add a polymerization from your deck to your hand, which is really good for this deck to be able to grab polymerization so you can make really powerful cards like Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. We then play a single copy of Evil Hero Adusted Gold. This card is really cool in the deck because you basically just discard this card to the graveyard to add your copy of Dark Calling from your deck to your hand, so we can summon out a really cool boss monster, our copy of Malicious Bane, which is such a cool boss monster to be able to summon in this deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Rhoda. Rhoda's just really good in this deck to be able to grab any of our hero monsters that are level 4 lower, that are warriors. We then play a single copy of Polymerization. This card is a key combo piece in the deck to be able to go and search off your copy of Vion. We then play a single copy of Miracle Fusion. Miracle Fusion is just really good to search off your copy of Sunriser, and it's a definite one-of in this build. We then play a single copy of Dark Calling. We're searching this card off of Adusted Gold so we can make our copy of Malicious Bane, and it's a really awesome card in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Emergency Call. We're always searching this card. We're always using this card to search our copy of Stratos if we don't have it, because Stratos can search any of our Destiny Hero monsters, which is what we're using for this deck. This card is really good to be able to search Stratos from the deck and use it as our normal summon so we can go in for all of our plays. We then play 3 copies of A Hero Lives. A Hero Lives is extremely important for this deck to be able to special summon Stratos to your side of the field by paying half your life points when you control no monsters that are face up. This card helps out a lot to be able to search additional cards because it basically says search any hero that you want while also getting a Stratos on the field, which is really good. This card is a definite 3-of in the deck so that you can search your Destiny Hero monsters off your Stratos. We then play 3 copies of Fusion Destiny. Fusion Destiny is so good in the deck because this card lets us fusion summon from the deck, which is so good to be able to summon out our Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. This card is just so easy to summon off Fusion Destiny. It's just such a good card to be able to summon because basically what you do with Fusion Destiny is you fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck that mentions a Destiny Hero monster as material using monsters from your hand or deck as fusion material, but destroy it during the end phase of the next turn. Also, for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you can't special summon monsters except Dark Hero monsters, which is totally fine because that's all we're ever summoning in this deck really anyways, except for Sunriser and Absolute Zero. We then play 3 copies of Destiny Draw. Destiny Draw is really good in the deck because you discard any Destiny hero to draw 2 cards, which is super good in this deck because a lot of your Destiny heroes have really good graveyard effects, so this card is a definite 3-of in the build. We're then playing 3 copies of Mass Change. Mass Change is so we can make Dark Law on the deck, which is just really good. You basically target one of your hero monsters that you control, and you change it into a masked hero monster of the same attribute, which is really nice in this build, especially so you can make your copy of Dark Law. We then play 3 copies of D-Force. D-Force is so powerful and such a good card when you're trying to summon out Plasma, especially in a deck like this. This card is really good because when this card is activated, you add a Destiny Hero Plasma from your deck or graveyard to your hand, and while you control Destiny Hero Plasma, you apply the following effects that you cannot draw during your draw phase, but your opponent cannot target cards that you control with card effects, and also each Destiny Hero Plasma that you control gains 100 attack for each monster in the graveyards and cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and can make a second attack during each battle phase, essentially turning Destiny Hero Plasma into this super monster, which is just absolutely crazy that it can gobble up opponent's monsters, make a second attack, it gains additional additional attacks for each monster in your graveyard, or in the graveyards, both players' graveyards, and it's a one-sided skill drain. Like, that's just such a good effect for D-Force to have, and it turns Plasma into this absolutely absurd monster by just giving up your normal draw, which once you have that card on the field, it doesn't even matter. Like, this card just makes your copy of Plasma crazy. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, which we did pull out the Starlight for the Destiny Hero deck profile. But this card is so good in the deck, and just one of the best fusion monsters ever created, with just how powerful it is. Being able to drop your opponent's monsters' attack points down, also destroying every single turn a card on your field and a card on your opponent's field, is just so good. And it also being able to bring itself back from the graveyard is just such a powerful effect. This card is a definite at least one of in this deck. We're then playing a single copy of Destiny Hero Dominance. Dominance is really good as a one of in the deck. This card makes it easy to summon out your copy of Dreadmaster because it has a really good effect that during your main phase, you can look at the top 5 cards of your deck or your opponent's deck and then place them on top of the deck in any order. And when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can draw a card. And if this fusion summon card is destroyed by battle by card effect, then you can target your 3 level 9 or lower Destiny Hero monsters with different names in your graveyard and special summon them, which will get your copy of Dreadmaster onto the field, which is really cool. We then play a single copy of Dystopia. Dystopia is just really good because it does burn damage and it's really a good card. One copy of Destiny Hero Dangerous. This card is basically Foolish Burial, which is really nice and a really good one-up to be able to summon, especially with Polymerization since it just requires a Destiny Hero plus any dark effect monster. One copy of Sunriser because it does search Miracle Fusion. Absolute Zero because it can board wipe when it leaves the field your opponent's monsters. One copy of Skirt Owl. A Skirt Owl is just really good overall in the deck, and I really love this card overall because it's super easy to summon off of Miracle Fusion, and it has a really awesome effect. This card gains 100 attack for each Elemental Hero monster in the graveyard, which can be quite a few, and this card does take a Dark plus an Elemental Hero, so it's pretty easy to summon. We then play a single copy of my favorite Elemental Hero, or my favorite hero monster in the game, not Elemental Hero, but hero monster in the entire game, and that's Evil Hero Malicious Bane. Evil Hero Malicious Bane is such a powerful card to combo with your copy of Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, and it's just a really awesome boss monster to put on the field. And it must be special with Dark Fusion, but Dark Calling works as Dark Fusion, and it cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. And during your main phase, you can destroy all monsters that your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to this card's. Also, it gains 200 attack for each monster destroyed this way. And also, you cannot declare attacks for the rest of the turn except with hero monsters, which is fine because that's all we're attacking with anyways. We then play a single copy of Dark Law. This card is insanely powerful right now, just being basically a macrocosmos. And once per turn, if your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, except during the draw phase, or the damage step, you get to banish a random card from your opponent's hand, which is just crazy awesome. This card is just so good in the deck, and any card sent to your opponent's graveyard is banished instead, so it's one-sided macrocosmos. We then play a single copy of Acid. Acid's really good to be able to summon out with your copy of Absolute Zero, being able to basically pop all the monsters, and then all the spells and traps when Acid touches the field. We then play a single copy of Blast. Blast is in here so that we can dodge hand traps for Stratos, and it's just really good overall. One copy of Dread Decimator. It gets your other hero monsters really big, which is really nice because this card also, any hero monster it points to gains 100 attack for each hero monster with a different name in your graveyard, which is quite a few in this deck that we play. And this card can get really big, and if this card attacks a defense position monster, it also does piercing, which is really nice. Let's see a copy of Wonder Driver because it works really good with Polymerization, and then finally 2 copies of Extra Hero Cross Crusader, which might as well be Destiny Hero Cross Crusader, because if this card is a link summon, then you get to target a Destiny Hero monster in your graveyard and special summon it, and you can also tribute a Destiny Hero monster at any hero monster with a different name from your deck to your hand, which is a super powerful effect, but it is a once per turn. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy. This deck is super fun to be able to play, especially being able to summon out all the amazing Destiny Hero fusion monsters. I love this deck, and it's just super fun to be able to D-Force into a copy of Plasma, being able to summon out this absolutely insane super monster with these cards. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell near so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.